All right, 12.3 is measures of central tendency. That pretty much gives us different means to analyze the behavior of values at the center of the values. That's why they call it central tendency. People use those things to kind of analyze how the numbers are. For example, your grade average for school is a measure of central tendency. It takes your highs, your lows, and looks at the overall average of what you're doing. There are four terms to understand, and again, you have to be able to find the values of each. The mean is the result of adding the values and dividing by the number of values. This is what you know as average. Again, mean is the average. The way I remember it is that it's mean because it's the one we have to add up everything and then divide by that part. And again, if there are 100 numbers, you have to actually type in 100 numbers plus, or you have to actually type all the numbers in and then divide by 100. The median is also considered an average, but it's not the average we know. This is what happens when you put the values in order and simply choose the middle value. So again, put everything in order from smallest to from least to greatest, and then pick the middle. The mode is the value that occurs the most frequently in the set of numbers. Put a star by this because this is actually pretty special. And the range is the value found by subtracting the lowest value in the set from the highest value in the set. What the range tells you is that it covers a span of 20, or that it covers a span of 80, or that it covers a span of 10. So again, the range is just saying how wide, how far the numbers actually span across the set. This lesson is based in practice and fluency. If you do not become a natural at finding each of these values, and you run the risk of making a small mistake on your assessment. Knowing that you have a quiz on this tomorrow means you might want to make sure you make the most of your time today. Because again, I don't think it's hard to do. I think you just got to make sure you get your mistakes out of the way, and that way you're ready for tomorrow. Find the mean, median, and mode and range of the set of values. First off, if you want the mean, again, what you want to do is add everything up. So we actually do 8 plus 10 plus 4 plus 9. And again, just to be safe, I'll go back and check. I do have a 4 followed by a 10, a 5, 10, 7, 18, to 12, to 9, to 4, to 10, to 8. That gives me a total of 97. I will then divide that 97 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. In your calculator, if 97 is already in there, you don't need to type the 97 again. You could just hit divided by, and ANS means that that's the value that was last shown. So you could just hit divided by 11. And I think your computer takes you to 3 decimal places, so we will do that as 8.818 as your mean. Your median is found by taking these numbers and putting them in order. So what we're going to do now is put them in order. So 4 seems to be the smallest, followed by another 4, 5, I think 7, 8, and notice how I'm marking these as I go because you don't want to count anything twice and you don't want to overlook anything. Plus, if you do find out later that you missed something, at least you know what you missed and you know where it goes. Looks like there's 1, 2, 3 10s. No 11, there is a 12. Looks like the last number is 18. And again, to check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Some of you who brought me your papers yesterday on the frequency tables and said you couldn't find out what you did wrong, all I had to do was count your numbers, count your total of what you had in your frequency table, and count the number of values in the set. And again, that was what told me. Same thing here, just counting and making sure you have 11 numbers here, 11 numbers there means you probably did not mess up. The way you find the median is by simply going towards the middle, and the way I find the middle is by crossing off 1 in the front for 1 in the back, 1 in the front for 1 in the back, and that means in this case my median is 9 because 9 is the middle number. Your mode, if you remember, is the one that occurs the most. And if you look at this list, we have 2 4s, 3 10s, and so the one that occurs the most is the one that would win in votes in terms of popularity. 10 is the most popular number. And then your range is the result of just simply doing highest number, which now that it's in order is 18 minus 4 or 14. So again, when you're asked to find that stuff today, just make sure you do those basic steps, but you need to know those things, so make sure that tomorrow when you walk in you don't need notes to kind of show you or give you the hint as to what's going on. So if I were you, I would try them without notes, and then when I get stuck, I would go back to the notes to try to look and see how to do it. Find the median of the set of values, because there are some tricky questions coming up, and that's what this section is for. So let's put these in order. I think they already might be in order. I think I wanted to save you some time. 5, 9, 11, 18, 21. Yeah, they're already in order. But if you notice, when we go to find the median, and you go front to back, front to back, front to back, you now have two numbers in the middle. And so again, you need to be careful on that, because you can't choose two numbers. But what you do is you kind of have these numbers, and again, if you don't know this and if you need to write this, I would just have the numbers negotiate. And what I mean by that is, if you know you want to make $10 an hour, or you want to make, somebody wants to offer you $10 an hour and you actually want $20 an hour, if you negotiate appropriately, you should meet somewhere at 15, because that is a happy medium. It's a spot where both of you agree. And the way you find that number is by taking the mean of those two numbers. So whenever there's two numbers, you simply do 18 plus 21, which is, I think, 39, and then do 39 divided by 2, and that should give you the middle as 19.5. That would be your median of this set. Again, if there are two numbers, 19.5 is 1.5 away from 18, it's 1.5 away from 21. That would represent the middle of that set. Now you also have to be careful, because if you do it the wrong way and type 18 plus 21, notice when I do equals like we did in the quadratic formula divided by 2, I get the number. But if I do 18 plus 21 divided by 2, I get a whole different number. Common sense says this can't be it, because 28.5 is not in between those two, so don't go for it. But what happened is it used the order of operations to do division first, and you don't want that to happen. You also have another trick here to where they'll ask you to find the mode. And if we look for the mode, we're looking for the most popular number. And we have a 2, a 3, maybe I should have put these in order, a 6, a 8, a 10, a 12, and a 15. And here's the issue. In order for a mode to exist, somebody must be picked at least twice. And notice that everything here is only picked once, which means that there is no mode. So again, that's why you put the star by it, because in this case there is no mode. Since nobody was picked more than once, nobody wins. Nobody gets to be popular, nobody gets to be famous, whatever it might be. But again, nobody was picked more than once, so therefore there's no mode. But if you look at the other one here, again, I probably should have put this in order. 1, 3 5s, 1 6, 3 9s, 1 10. So looking at this one, you have 3 5s, 3 9s, and there is now a tie for first. This is just a situation again where you want to make sure you understand that in this case your modes are 5 and 9. So you don't do anything special, you just say 5 and 9 are both your mode, because that's really how it works in that situation. Again, the only one where you do the average is in median, because you want to know the middle. In terms of this is just saying what is the most popular set, most popular value, and in this case your answer is that the most popular value is 5 and 9. Last thing to do is this one where it's going to ask you to find the value of x that creates a mean. You can call this a target mean problem, because what they do is they give you a actual mean that they want you to have, and then you want to try to find a value that makes that happen. And so here's what you have to understand about average. If you want your mean to be 15, that means that you want to average 15. And so what happens is if you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trials, again, you don't need to write this, but that means that if you have 6 trials or whatever it might be, 6 different values, and you want to average 15, average of 15 means that you would imagine scoring 15 in each of those 6 times, because again, that would be your average. Just like in a game, if somebody averages 15 points a game, you can expect that they'll get 15 in every game. What that does for us is, actually you might want to write this because this is pretty much how you would solve this, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that I'm going to do. I put my 6 blanks. I fill all those in with the mean that I want. I don't need to do 15 plus 15 plus 15 6 times. Remember, you could just do 15 times 6, which tells me that I should have 90. And then what I do is I take that number of 90, which is my mean, and I subtract everything else. 4, 10, minus 10, minus 20, minus 19. So I do 90 minus 10 minus 4, I'm sorry. And I end up with 27. And the beauty of this is that you can actually check your answer by plugging that in for x to go 4 plus 10 plus 10 plus 20 plus 19 plus 27 equals, and divide that by 6 to see that your mean is 15. Now let me explain again what this is. If your mean is 15 in 6 trials, that means you should score a total of 90. Alright, and again, if your target total is 90, then what you're doing is you're taking the total number and you're subtracting everything you've already done, so you can find out what you have to do to make that total equal 90. But again, if you get to that problem and you have any issues, I think I put enough on the homework that you should be able to come up, ask questions, and I can talk you through it personally. But just again, try it out. We're here to make mistakes and try to get better at what we're doing. So again, just come up, ask questions on it, and I can try to help you get right for that tomorrow. Other than that, go ahead and go to your Math Excel and let's get going. Good luck.